Let's be honest, Joe Rogan is probably one of the most unflappable interviewers out there. For thousands of hours and across thousands of episodes, he's navigated conversations with a signature mix of curiosity, humor, and control. He's the master of his domain, a seasoned conversationalist who seems like he can steer any discussion, no matter how wild or controversial. But what happens when the person sitting across from him completely flips the script? What happens when the conversation takes a sudden, sharp turn, and the man who is always in control visibly loses it? From intellectual overwhelm to genuine fear, some guests have seriously tested Joe Rogan's composure. These are those rare, fascinating moments where the conversation just goes off the rails, leaving Joe visibly flustered and scrambling to get back on track. These aren't just awkward moments. They're stress tests that show us the man behind the microphone. Today, we're counting down the top 5 guests that made Joe Rogan truly, deeply uncomfortable.
You have done this for how long now?
I've been on a pure carnivore diet for about 2 months. And
Number 5, the lost thread, Jordan Peterson. Kicking off our list is a totally different kind of awkwardness. This one wasn't born from conflict or fear, but from getting tangled up in a web of pure ideas. Psychologist Jordan Peterson has had some of the most complex and abstract conversations ever on the JRE. But during episode 958, the discussion became so philosophically dense that both of them just got lost. They were deep down a conversational rabbit hole, weaving through incredibly intricate concepts, when the train of thought just completely fell off the tracks. It was actually Peterson who had to wave the white flag, admitting, "I can't remember what you asked me, so we'll have to go to a different topic." For a second, Rogan was just as lost. Here were 2 incredibly smart guys, deep in a conversation they created, who had wandered so far into the intellectual woods they couldn't find their way back. This moment is unique because it wasn't about emotional discomfort. It was about a rare loss of intellectual control. Rogan is supposed to be the anchor of the show, but here the sheer complexity of Peterson's ideas created a perfect storm of confusion. It was a humbling moment, proving that even a host like Rogan can get overwhelmed when a conversation gets too big, a rare instance where the guide was just as lost as his guest.
It's harming fiction and harming literature that you can't explore the darker ideas.
You want to see me crucify myself right now?
Number 4, the conversation killer, Chuck Palahniuk. Coming in at number 4, we go from overwhelming energy to basically none at all. When the legendary Fight Club author Chuck Palahniuk appeared on episode number 1726, fans were hoping for a mind-bending conversation. What they got instead was, well, it was like pulling teeth. Throughout the interview, Rogan would serve up his signature conversational energy, only to be met with short responses, vague agreements, and long, stretching silences. Rogan, a guy who lives for the back and forth, found himself repeatedly throwing out conversational lifelines that just sank. He'd ask a thoughtful question or offer a detailed analysis, and Palahniuk would reply with a short answer that led nowhere. You could practically see Rogan digging through his entire host toolkit, asking follow-ups, telling personal stories, getting Jamie to pull up videos, anything to fill the silence. This kind of discomfort is different. This was the discomfort of a host realizing his guest was on a completely different planet. Palahniuk's quiet, introspective nature was a conversational brick wall. It was a rare moment where the JRE engine just sputtered, proving that even the best host depends on the energy his guest brings. For Rogan, it seemed like the silence was more unnerving than any argument.
The same dinosaur?
Have you?
Oh, shit, look at that.
There it is, Mocha. Dude, you're fucking on fire, Jamie.
Holy fuck.
Number 3, the compliment barrage, David Choe. Our number 3 spot isn't about tension, but its exact opposite. When artist and podcaster David Choe sat down for episode number 1518, the energy was different right from the start. Choe, known for his chaotic and unfiltered personality, immediately launched into a relentless barrage of compliments. He praised Rogan's looks, his voice, his podcast, his impact, everything. Now, for most people, this would be flattering, right? For Joe Rogan, it was pure torture. Rogan has said it himself many times. He is horrible at taking compliments. This episode was the ultimate proof. With every new piece of praise from Choe, you can literally watch Rogan physically recoil. He tries to deflect and change the subject, but Choe just keeps going, creating this cringy feedback loop of awkwardness. This is a fascinating moment because it exposes a very specific trigger for Rogan's discomfort. Being the focus of intense personal praise, he's in his element analyzing other people. But when the spotlight turns directly on him with that level of relentless positivity, he gets visibly uneasy.
We as people, we try to avoid fights, you know what I mean?
Right.
From our instincts, we avoid fights for all our lives. And just to be able, this is what you do.
Number 2, the misjudged laugh, Mike Tyson. At number 2 is the moment a boxing legend shut down the studio with 3 simple words. In episode number 1532, Mike Tyson made his return to the podcast. Things took a turn when the discussion moved to a viral video of Tyson hitting pads, a clip that proved he still had terrifying power. Rogan, like millions of others, brought it up with a laugh, complimenting Tyson's ferocious energy. Tyson's response, however, was dead serious. He revealed that after filming that explosive 30-second clip, he was literally in bed for a week. As Joe let out another chuckle, Tyson's entire demeanor shifted. He looked Rogan square in the eye and said, "It's not funny." The laughter in the studio instantly vanished. A heavy silence filled the air as Rogan, caught totally off guard, tried to figure out what just happened. Tyson wasn't just complaining about being sore. He was opening up about his own physical limits and the tough reality of aging. Rogan, thinking it was just a funny story, had completely misread the room. The exchange became a tense lesson in reading a guest, as Rogan had to carefully navigate his way back, his usual confident flow totally gone. He'd just been publicly checked by a legend he deeply respects, and his discomfort was obvious.
Offer this to clinicians for them to see signal from the noise. I suspect, hypothetically, I don't have the evidence.
Number 1, the dangerous question, Paul Stamets. And finally, our number 1 most uncomfortable moment. Usually when a guest refuses to answer a question, it's for legal reasons. But on episode number 1035, mycologist Paul Stamets gave a reason that sent a chill through the studio and left Joe Rogan completely stunned. Rogan, with his usual curiosity, casually asked about the potential downsides of the common portobello mushroom. What happened next is one of the most bizarre and tense moments in JRE history. Stamets' entire vibe shifted from passionate professor to dead serious. After a long pause, he said, "This is an explosive area of conversation, and that puts my life in danger, so I reserve the right not to answer your question." Rogan was floored. "Whoa," he managed to reply. "It puts your life in danger, talking about portobello mushrooms?" Stamets just stared back at him. The implication was huge and, frankly, terrifying. What could be so dangerous about a grocery store mushroom? In that moment, all that mattered was the palpable fear in the room. Rogan, faced with a guest who just implied his question could have life or death stakes, had no choice but to immediately back down. "I will respectfully move on," he said, visibly shaken. It was the one time a guest didn't just make Rogan uncomfortable. They seemed to genuinely scare him. Conclusion. So what do all these moments really show us? They reveal the risk and, honestly, the beauty of a real, unscripted conversation. Joe Rogan has built a platform where truly anything can happen. And while that often leads to incredible discussions, it sometimes leads to moments of pure, unfiltered awkwardness. Whether it's from a direct challenge, a conversational dead end, or genuine fear, these instances give us a rare peek behind the curtain. They show us that the king of podcasting is, at the end of the day, human. He can get flustered, caught off guard, and deeply uncomfortable. And in a world of polished content, that raw humanity is exactly why millions of us keep tuning in. What do you think? Did we get the order right? Let us know your picks for the most uncomfortable guest moments in JRE history in the comments below. Thanks for watching.